But one thing that you gotta remember is one monkey don't stop, no shoulders. Train gon' keep on rolling. Oh yeah, just think our life gon' keep on going. Oh yeah, this train gon' keep on rolling. Oh yeah, just think our life gon' keep on going. Oh yeah.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of our Community Conversations. We're here at McKinstry Banquet Hall, located at 5480 Jug Factory Road here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And we're on Sound Booth Radio 106.1 and YouTube station Sound Booth 106.1 with our good friend Mike Wilson. Mike, tell them how can they chime in on Sound Booth Radio and 106.1.
Sure thing, Daryl. Check us out on the radio side of Sound Booth Radio 106.1. Just go to your iOS or your Google Play Store, download the Live 365 app. Once you download that free app, then you go to the search bar and type in Sound Booth Radio 106.1. That'll get you on with us on the radio side of Sound Booth Radio. To check us out on the video side, go to YouTube, type in Sound Booth Radio 106.1. And that'll get you on to watch this program as we're watching it right now.
Well, Mike, as usual, we always have Veronica to give us the copyright disclaimer. And she said we might want to just kind of put that on the pin list. Copyright disclaimer say under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for the fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed. So I want to thank you for giving us that, and we will definitely, throughout the program, continue to show that. The other night...
Yeah, can we put that on a runner going across the bottom of the screen, maybe?
I think we're going to have to put it on there, or make it sure that it stay up some kind of shape, form, or fashion. So we won't have those interferences and things. I think we're okay. I still didn't get any notifications. I have no idea what happened. I don't think it was the program, but certainly we are being observed. Certainly, I think we're being observed from our point of view of a group, and I think it's regardless if we were the T-Town 411 report or our community conversation. Look like we're going to be monitored regardless of what we do and how we do it. But in the meantime, we want to say a quick prayer for everybody, and did Veronica provide us with the COVID update? I don't think so as of yet. Might not have none, Mike. It's been a while since, I think, Tuesday. We didn't have anyone in ICU. And I think on the other day, we didn't have anybody on ventilator. So we just want to thank the Lord for all of the grace and mercy that He's provided to us. Want to say hello to Lala. But we didn't have anyone in ICU. Tyra Campbell, Betty Hopkins, Dion Washington, Derek Goodman, all of you all. Thank you all for chiming in. Teresa Harris, how do you all? As usual, I just want to do a quick prayer, as I always do. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for this opportunity to come out and share information, share and treat one another. Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for your grace and mercy. And Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for giving us another day that we've never seen before. Right now, we're praying for all our families and friends, everyone on this program. We're praying for all the bereavement families right now that are going through something. Heavenly Father, we certainly have one common denominator that we all will share one day or another. That we all, if we're born, we will die. And we know you're in charge of that, Heavenly Father. So we want to thank you. We give you all the praise and all the glory. We're praying for the sick and shut in. We're asking that you heal them. We're praying for all the people that's in the hospital right now. We ask that you continue to bless all our doctors and nurses and firemen, all our law enforcement agencies. We look out for our government from the president all the way down to our city council. We're praying for all the essential workers right now. Continue to watch over them. Pray for the families that right now that might have lost a loved one. We're praying especially for the Beard family right now for what they're going through, the loss of their loved one. Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you for all what you do, all you've done and will do. In your Son Jesus Christ's name we pray, amen.
Man.
Just want to pray, man. I haven't given up on prayer, and I think no one else is either. Regardless of what's going on in this community and this country, we still must pray. We must give God all His praise and glory, and that I do continue to believe on. We want to say Happy Mother's Day weekend coming up. We want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers this coming up and coming weekend. All of you all, we saying Happy Mother's Day to you from our community conversation with my good friend Mike and myself. We want to just thank you all, and we was talking about teachers the other day, Mike. That there's one person that's always in the life of a child throughout,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a teacher. Well, we also can't forget mothers are always. There's no child without a mother. So those are people that individuals that we can't forget them. Also, we just want to say, hey, we want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers throughout this country, throughout this land, and that's how I feel about that because it wouldn't be no me or you if we didn't have a mother.
That's right.
So
they always say, mother's babies, daddy's maybe. So, without a doubt, you always know who your mama is.
that's right. We want to make sure we recognize our mothers on all the mothers that's out there, regardless of your shape situation might be going on. We got a few commercials. I'm lining them up, Mike. As they might be the old ones until we get the new ones lined in. Tonight we're talking about Roe versus Wade and anything else, but I think people don't realize how important it is to talk about these subjects such as this, because right now, if you think about it, they have the power to take away this privilege. What other privileges they gonna start infringing on our constitutional rights? This Roe versus Wade is a court proceeding that took place in 1973. But right now they're trying to reverse it and do away with it. From my understanding, Mike, I guess it flipped out that they were thinking about doing away with the ruling, overturning Roe versus Wade.
There was some sort of leak that came out. I want to say it was Tuesday, as the president was touring a facility in Alabama. It came out and he made comments that he hoped that it does not have enough votes to be overturned. But let's be completely honest.
Mm-hmm.
It has gone through all the court proceedings. Once you go through the Supreme Court, my understanding is it should not be revisited because it has been decided.
Already been decided.
It's just like going through a murder case. Like a double jeopardy type thing. So once you have gone through all the steps and getting all the way to the Supreme Court, which is supposed to be the highest court in the land, we should not be revisiting.
We shouldn't revisit it because I'm like you. It's kind of like double jeopardy as it is to revisit it, and why change or why overturn something that's already been put in place.
That's exactly right. This is just a start, which is why we're like adamantly on this podcast talking about this through the airways on that Sound Booth Radio. Anybody else who need to to hear this need to hear this. The fact of the matter is, this is a beginning to a bunch of different things that can happen, including and not limited to the civil rights,
Act of
all civil rights
1965. That's correct. That's
right
correct.
that we have right now.
That's correct, Mike. And I think that's what the president was getting to, is saying what's next. I mean, what else? What other privileges are we about to lose based on this? I mean, are they going to try to overturn our Second Amendment rights? You know, the right to bear arms, our civil rights.
Oh, no. The only right that they hold on to.
Look, but right now, I'm just saying, if this is this the beginning of changing our constitutional privileges, then we got to look at this also in some shape, form, or fashion too. We got Veronica on the phone. Veronica, you speaking from a woman's point of view. What do you think?
From a woman's point of view, regardless of what I believe for myself or for my family members, and it's even as it relates to my family members, it doesn't matter what I believe. There comes a time when you have to make that decision for yourself. And for all the holier than thou people that want to talk about, their Christian beliefs about it, well, where in Christianity do they say we must bear arms? We have to bear arms, or having a gun was such a good thing. So they get to talk about what's good and bad religiously, but I don't see nowhere where bearing arms. We know, of course, there's talks of wars, but it's a great thing. And my thing is, it's not a constitutional right, but once something has been in the law of the land for 50 years, it almost becomes that way. So no, it's not a constitutional right. But when you can get down into certain amendments that you might feel like, well, once it became law of the land, it could be a constitutional right. I think it's Amendment 14, one of them. It's something that it's over 50 years, coming up on the 50th year. Mm-hmm. It should be, a law of the land should be just as ingrained as the Constitution. The Constitution was written how many years ago? And they continue to go by the Constitution. Well, if you want to read the Constitution to make it fit your agenda, then everybody can make an argument that the abortion law should be left alone. It's just like they interpret the Bible to meet their agenda. Mm-hmm. They interpret laws to meet their agenda. And if a law happens to get passed that doesn't fit their agenda, they do all they can, starting from, like they said, the Bushes, to try to get this law overturned. Or to set up the Supreme Court, not just for this particular law, but to set up any type of law that they figure is backed or pushed by liberals, just calling folks liberals. They stuck on this liberals being a liberal, being a conservative. Mm-hmm. Well, people, how about it just boil down to some people don't agree with certain things and just leave it at that. People are people. But it's always about conservatism and liberalism, and it is, some people are more liberal, some are more conservative. But you even have some conservatives who are saying this has been the law of the land, leave it alone. Because look at what you will resort back to. And it's like they're trying to make it, like he said, make this country great again. I guess y'all thought it was great when women were using hangers. Y'all thought it was great when doctors were sneaking and slipping to do services that you deemed it illegal because of your Christian belief. And it's not even your Christian belief. For some of them, it's just a power struggle. It's a power struggle. And imagine these kids being born that will be born because a woman can't get an abortion. Who's going to take care of them? And then it goes to y'all just depend on the system. You have all these babies. You depend on the system. They're not talking about that part of it right now, because the real goal is to keep their women having children. Because like I said the other day, they're becoming the minority. So the big goal here is to keep it so that their women can continue to have kids.
And to be honest with you, it wasn't going to affect as many African Americans or people of color as it would the white people that they go out and have.
No, it's not, Mike. It's not. And it pisses me off when they get our black women up there talking about it. Now, that's not saying that black women don't have abortions. I'm not saying that. But it's just like when you say, oh, they commit so much crime. But when you're going to, other people commit crime too, not just black people. So quit using us as the argument for my thing is, You make your own decision. But I don't like it when these organizations try to use our women. Even on the news shows, you never see so many black women speaking on a subject until there's something like this.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you look into the audiences of the people out there protesting, you don't see that many of us.
No,
you
you
see
don't.
some, but you don't see a vast majority of us.
And why do you think? Why? Well, we know it's just the propaganda of
So it's their
the
agenda,
media.
but they're setting us up to push it. And that's why I say I don't care what side you're on, liberal side, conservative side. Don't use me to push your agenda. Don't use me to push your beliefs.
That's absolutely what they do with anytime there is something that is not good, they tend to highlight the people of color's race in it. When they start talking about somebody using the system, they always point to African Americans and Latino Americans on the welfare system. But there's a lot of white people on the welfare.
But that's my thing. You talking about the welfare system too, like again, it's like, look, okay. Well, when the welfare system starts to get, I guess what they consider is overwhelmed again, they're gonna say, oh, black women are having all these babies. Well, no, it's just as many white people on the welfare system as it is black people. If not more, for the sheer fact that right now there's still the majority population. Well, you want to say, well, they just having all these babies, and it's wrecking the system, it's putting stress on the system. So you want to take away a person's right to decide when this welfare system is already stressed? So you're saying everybody right now, if they, y'all, this is why voting, another reason is so important. If they overturn this, and from right now, it's seeming like states will have the right to decide what they want to do, because you know they always say the federal government out of it and let the state handle it. Well, if you have, say, 15 states decide to keep abortion legal in some way, form, or fashion.
23.
Next is going to become a congressional fight,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to try to change congressional laws. So not only are they concerned about the interracial marriage and all this kind of stuff, and the voting rights, they've already been chipping away at voting rights anyway, even before this election. And that started with Shelby County, Alabama. And it probably truly didn't start there, but they were the case that brought a lot of attention to, hey, they're chipping away at our voting rights. So you do this, and once they see that they can overturn Roe versus Wade, don't let them get the majority of the Senate and the House come election time. They're going to start enacting legislation to make sure that it's illegal.
Veronica, let me interrupt you
right and here. The only thing we'll have for us is that Biden can veto it if he's still president.
That's true. Let's just bring the people up to speed about this particular case, because sometimes we see things, and I'm a history lover, and some people see things of this nature and, oh, that don't apply to me. What they talking about, and let's just bring the people up to speed that might not understand what Roe versus Wade is. Roe versus Wade was a landmark decision of the United States Supreme Court in which the court ruled that the Constitution of the United States protects a pregnant woman's liberty to choose to have an abortion without excessive government restrictions. The decision struck down many U.S. federal and state abortion laws. Roe fueled an ongoing abortion debate in the United States about whether or to what extent abortion should be legal, who should decide the legality of abortion, and what the role of moral and religious views in the political sphere should be. It also shaped debate concerning which methods the Supreme Court should use in the constitutional adjudication. In other words, this is a case that was presented in court back in 1973, and Roe versus Wade decision was giving women the opportunity, the right, the privilege to have an abortion if they don't or do not want to do or not to do. And right now, I think that state of Alabama and several other states have in place right now, 15 weeks now, up to 15 weeks that you can have an abortion, or has that been overturned? I'm not sure. But
I think it's like I know it's well, a lot of women don't even know they're pregnant during the time frame that they have on there, and I don't think it's 15 weeks. I would say it's like a 9 to 12 week.
And some of these places, they're on you to time. They're saying before 6 weeks. I think it's Texas maybe, where the 6 weeks you can't. Some women don't even know that's just a month and a half. They're not even. Some of them may have just missed the first cycle, or maybe not. Some women don't miss a cycle when they're pregnant until the second or third month of pregnancy. Some never miss one. So it wouldn't be normal that, oh, you can decide this within 6 weeks. It wouldn't be normal to do that. The only way they can, now you can take precautions, maybe taking the pill the morning after pill. But if they do this, will they eventually eliminate that? Well, they didn't want birth control covered under insurance.
They have said that with them abolishing Roe versus Wade, Roe versus Wade, then contraceptives and birth control would be a thing of the past as well. So,
right,
it's we talking about overpopulation in so many different places. You don't want to wind up being like China, for instance. China, the government dictates to them they can only have, I think, 2 kids. And if you have more than 2 kids, you have to get special permission from the government.
But see, Mike, they're not talking about overpopulation because right now they're in the minority. They're becoming a minority in this country, whether it be through black or brown. They're becoming a minority. So they don't care right now. They want more population of people that don't look like us. They want the population to look like the ones making this decision.
But then here's the rub. Because we have so many interracial couples right now, that means that's going to be
the very next thing that right.
The very next thing that they try to get rid of because they don't want to start intermingling the bloodlines.
Mm-hmm.
Let me read it.
Right now, they outright explicitly say racist statements and look at you like, that's not racist. We're not racist. That's not racist. And it's blatantly racist, the things that they're saying.
Let me read a few of the comments right quick. Daniel Van Horn said, old cases are used to persuade other cases. Disturbing old law cases will affect the future and civil rights as well as other rights. Laura Bell said, politicians' mistresses will always have access to safe abortions. Lala said, this is about population control. White America is afraid of becoming a minority in this country. Same thing with immigration. When fair-skinned people want to come over Ukraine, it's welcome. But let the people of color, and we need to close our borders. I understand what you're saying. The worst thing people have done was not getting out and voting, also paying attention to how laws were changing as well as change. Talking about welfare has always been a smokescreen. The smokescreen is not to pay attention to what's really going on in the background, but make you feel as though is a problem in America. But when you get to talking about laws that affect everyday life, now it's time to stay woke. Exercise your rights to vote people out of office. Controlling the ballot boxes, you control the country. They know this. Dion say, how would this furthermore hurt prenatal health care in low socioeconomic areas even more than it is already? Good question. Good question, Dion. How will it affect? One thing I think healthcare is a whole nother segment by itself. And who?
Well, you have some doctors who have said that they will not, and these are true to heart doctors who are looking out for the best interest of people and not just still, the money is not the focus, who have said they will not practice if they're in a situation and they feel like they can't give a woman the choice of this could happen if this could happen. You need to think about your options. If they can't give people that option, and it's in a situation where it may harm them to carry pregnancy, then they may stop practicing. Then you get into this whole big thing of you already have a shortage of healthcare workers, and when we say healthcare workers, it's not just nurses and nursing assistants.
Right.
It's doctors as well.
Yes. And then they're talking about charging doctors with felony charges
Exactly.
if they perform the procedure. That's in what state legislation right now. That's on the books right now.
It is, and the thing is, they have zero exceptions for any type of pregnancy. Like they have none.
That's the thing, like none. And that to me is the most asinine thing of it all. Is there are situations where like you literally medically have to abort a child because it's going to cause the death of both mother and fetus. So they're basically saying that, well, kill both of them. And I don't understand it. Because you saying that you don't want to kill a baby, but you are going out buying all kind of handguns and firearms, semi-automatic or fully automatic, things that you can add to regular guns and make them more powerful and more, just so you can shoot people. Because it's your right to bear arms to protect your property.
And like I said, I've been saying this and preaching this for the last couple weeks. If you made them put insurance on all these guns, I don't think they'll be buying as many as they would. Because if it's mandatory to have insurance on all these cars you own, you ought to have the same amount of insurance on all the guns you own.
They find a loophole though, Daryl. I'm sure it was just like if you have an antique car, you can have an antique tag on there as long as you don't drive it. So I don't know how the insurance rates work with that. They'll probably do, oh, this is just a showpiece.
Well, but just think, you still gotta have some type of insurance on it, don't you think? If it's on the roadway, because you gotta drive it to the showcase. You know, a lot of people showcase their vehicles.
But then I thought antique. Some people drive antique cars every day, though, right?
That's right. I've seen them on the road on a constant basis.
Well, most, like, it used to be that you could get an antique tag.
And yeah, that was just it.
Yeah, but now you have to have, if you drive that antique vehicle, you have to have a regular tag. And most of these show cars, they drive them there on the flatbed.
I gotta research it, but go ahead. We'll finish talking.
Yeah, because I remember when you used to get an antique tag and you can drive that joker ever. You can drive.
Yeah, and you once you buy the antique tag, you got it.
Yeah, you didn't have to buy it.
Your car had to be 20 years old. Yeah. Got a 73 Mach 1 that we was trying to do that for, and Alabama stopped doing it.
All about money, wasn't getting no revenue.
They had a lot of people that would drive around in 20-year-old cars.
Yeah, because exactly. I can see them changing it because when cars start getting old, some people drive their cars for 20 years. If ain't that wrong with their car, they don't drive it. And they don't even whether they, get it registered as antique or not. Some people driving cars that long, but then when they realize, oh, I can get this tag and I don't have to buy it again. Alabama, anything they can to continue to keep revenue. Because it's only a select group of people who are going to be driving cars 20 years old anyway.
That's right.
Because those usually people, like you said, show cars or people who are car fanatics who keep their cars up. But any little money they miss out on, they try to get it. And you would think, okay, everything else y'all try to take away from us, y'all decide to say, well, let's tax it, let's regulate it. Which I don't see how you could tax and regulate abortion and get money off of it. But I'm just surprised they ain't saying, well, if these people have abortion, they have to pay this, pay this. Because the state, it seems like they just allowed to do whatever the heck they want to do. That's just like we were talking about landlord and tenant agreements. The state of Alabama favors the landlord.
And the thing about it is,
even when landlords are sometimes slumlords.
It seems as though the federal government, they cutting the legs off underneath the federal government because federal law is supposed to supersede state law. And for most intents and purposes, it seems as though they keep giving more and more power to the states, taking more and more power away from the federal law as a whole country. Most of these things they're trying to do right now, and we're talking about Roe versus Wade. We're talking about and it's type of civil rights, voter registration, and all of this. The majority of the people in the United States are against it, and so you basically giving the power to the few. The few that decide that this is how we want to do it, this is how we should do it, and they're running everything. And we got to stop that. That's where the voting comes in. Now, I understand. I was talking to a couple teams today, in which they were talking about Black history, and a lot of them don't even know about most stuff because when they teach Black history, they don't teach all of it, just the highlight points. So when it comes down to Roe versus Wade, do you think they teach you about that? No, that's some of that stuff they don't want you to know about. And if they abolish it, it's gonna be taken completely out of the history book. They're already taking away our history right now, and our history is American history.
Well, there again, we're talking about Roe versus Wade. Yep. Do it get the, we're talking about the government making a decision. In other words, we're now seeing like we're going more from a democracy to a dictatorship.
Yeah, a one-party dictatorship. And the sad part is that they're not even in control. They're not even in control. So imagine if they do get to a point where they're controlling both houses and the presidency. They're not even in control. And then we have an idiot named Joe Manchin that right now they could bring a vote about these abortion laws, bring it up and pass it with a 50-50, some type of administration about these abortion laws, but he's already said he's against it. He's always the one. It's usually him, and now it's starting to always be either one extra one because they want the attention. It's either him, that Kristen Sinema, or some other person, not somebody from Ohio. Those two. So, but what needs to happen is them two helpers, two Republican women who voted for Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett to be on the Supreme Court, after they lied straight in their face and said that was the law of the land, it was precedence, as if they wouldn't mess with it, and they sat there and believed them and voted to confirm them. Collins and the other woman, they need to get them on their side with this administration that they're trying to propose. Because they lied to their faces, and I think they really knew that they don't think that they cared anyway. They just wanted to make some of their constituents think they cared. They lied to them, and now they stand here, and this thing has been leaked. So it's basically they're going to overturn it. So those two Republican women should be on the sides of the Democrat when they try to draft some type of law to protect women's freedom to make the decisions for their body.
Well,
because Manchin has already said he's going to vote no, whatever it is, he and some other person. So we lose two Democrats. So we need two Republicans. We need them to bring their unintelligent selves on over to the Democrat side and vote with the Democrats. And then Kamala will have to break the side. Because every single Republican, even if they don't truly believe that Roe versus Wade should be reversed, when it comes to our Congress, they stick together, even when they don't believe in what they're sticking together for. They have these backroom conversations about it wasn't right, it's not right, but then they still vote with it to stick with their party.
Now, Veronica, this is a overturn. This is something that's being overturned by the Supreme Court justices. Is that not correct?
Yeah, this is being overturned by the Supreme Court justices, but Schumer and Pelosi are trying to draft up something so that Congress can pass something to protect. Congress creates laws. Mm-hmm. So if Congress passes something to protect a woman's freedom to choose, to protect women's rights, then it can be passed through Congress. And if the Republicans don't like it, it's just another thing that they'll have to go back through the Supreme Court, just like they kept suing Obama for Obamacare.
Once again, we're live on our community conversation. If you would like to join this conversation, all you have to do is join the phone, call in at 310-6067 or 205-826-7661. I'm sure there are other people that have an opinion about this because this affect women. I mean, this is a procedure that women are mostly affected. It affects men in some shape, form, or fashion of support, but at the same time, it affects the women right and privilege to decide to have a child or not to have a child. And with this Roe versus Wade overturn case, by overturning it, it will be decided by your state laws to give you to say you can't. I guess you can say pretty much you can't have an abortion if that's the case. Veronica, let's see. Daniel Van Horn say, Veronica, I'm gonna help you out on this one. When the Supreme Court reverses a law, it becomes law.
Because, Congress can pass a law to supersede the Supreme Court as well. But the only thing to that is that the Supreme Court can later vote it down. I mean, not vote it down, but deem it unconstitutional.
Well.
So it's just like, to me, it's one of these things where, like, sit your ass down and leave stuff alone. Like, let these women choose what they want to do. Nobody, when people try to choose that whether you can have a gun, you raise hell. When people trying to say, well, you don't need an arsenal, you raise hell. Some of these same ones trying to tell people, we don't want to wear a mask. But they get mad at you for wearing a mask. It's the same ones that think they can bear arms and however many they want to, but then want to tell a woman if she can have whether she should bear a baby or not.
Now, and then the question that I would like to ask majority of those people that's all gung ho about this is, how many of them actually were in a situation where they, in their younger years, had helped somebody get an abortion or had an abortion, and I shouldn't have done that. Now that you are this, this Republican in a position of authority. I shouldn't have done it, but I did it when I was in my early 20s or late teens. So I seem to hear a lot of those politicians say, well, I did do that when I was this, but I realized I shouldn't have done it. They have it on some of these commercials that's going around when they talk about abortion. And it's astonishing to me that, when you was in a situation where you felt like you couldn't handle or be a good parent to a child, you had an abortion, and I've been thinking about it all my life. Like, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people think about it if they have had to terminate a pregnancy. I feel like they probably think about it all the time too. Well, if I was able to, well, my child would be this age right now. So you're not in the minority there when you think that you're the only one who thinks about terminated pregnancy. But it's kind of like, well, I did it, but yeah, I'm sorry for it, but now I'm gonna make it what you can't do. That's how I'm seeing it. Like I said, I've seen a few commercials, and I've heard a couple of people come out and say, "Well, I did it, but I wish I hadn't." But now, in the moment that they did it, were they glad that they were able to do it? How would they have felt that they were told that they were unable to do it? And they would have had to have that baby anyway.
Well, Mike, you bring out some very, 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 very interesting points, and I'm just surprised that we don't have. Lala said, let me see what Lala said right quick. Lala said they won't have an opinion until it directly impacts them or someone they know. And Mike, Daniel Van Horn said, I'm sure there's scholars and lawyers that are writing objections to Roe versus Wade being reversed. You know, it's these things, these questions or these particular laws are very important, and I think women of all races need to speak up and speak out right now, especially young women.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm thinking, you know, I would think women of the ages of 29 to 18 would be in an uproar of all races would be in an uproar because those are your well, what, 35 pretty much, childbearing ages, 35 to 18, 18 to
Some
30.
up to 40 though, Daniel. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, some up to 50. But it would think that the younger people would have more to say about it because they're the ones who are trying to get established.
Our
It's
future.
a different thing when you're 35 or and up and you're already established in some things and then decide that, you know what, we shouldn't have no abortions. You should be able to take care of your own baby. And that's all right. You know what I'm saying? Because you got a six-figure, seven-figure job. And, okay, now I'm having a baby. The only thing that you worried about now is, dang, I'm 50 and I'm having a baby. Or I'm 40, finna have a baby.
Well, you know, even our religious believers that believe that what well, what for brain freeze, that believe in multiplying. You know, be fruitful and multiplying. And you know, a lot of them think that means to multiply as many kids as you can. And so, even if you have a religious view of this, then you still should be able to say, you know, we have the right because like Veronica said earlier, what if it's a situation that's going to cause the decision to abort or you dying? So if you die, who's going to take care of the baby?
That's right.
I mean, okay, yeah, you got the grandparents, or you might have the grandparents, or you might have the baby daddy. But what if you got a situation where it was just a one night stand? What if it was a situation where it was a date rape? What if it was a situation where you know you decided that this is not what you want with the particular person that you decided to have sex with?
Is there, you know, you have a lot of sexual assault victims that wind up pregnant, and you're now saying to them that they are obligated to have a baby, and if I'm not mistaken, a baby's supposed to be made out of love, right? So, and of course, not all of them are, but not out of violence. Sexual assault is a violent act. But you're not even giving them the opportunity to terminate a pregnancy based upon that.
Mm-hmm.
So, like they have, like I said, they have zero exceptions for anything that should be in the realm of possibility for abortion. Besides just the fact that, you know, I'm still trying to figure out how a man's supposed to be telling a woman what to do with her body.
Well, that's basically what's going on. Before we go on to another subject, or anyone want to call in, once again, you can call in 310-6067, 205-826-7661. Either number get you in contact with us here on the program, Mike or myself. But before we go any further and change the subject, we will definitely take a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Head on down to Archibald and Woodrow, some of the best barbecue in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, y'all. Right off of 4125 Greensboro Avenue, Tuscaloosa, Alabama 35405. You can hit them up at 205-331-4858. Also, you can find them at their other location, 1211 Martin Luther King Boulevard, Northport, Alabama 35476. 205-345-6861.
Tastes so good, make you want to slap your mama.
Bubba Love Car Wash and Detail. Looking for a dependable car wash and detail that will take care of your needs with great service? Bubba Love is your place. Located next to Cripson Style Cuts at 3500 MLK Jr. Boulevard, Tuscaloosa. Whoa, slow it down. Let me talk to you. If you're ready to ride clean, just pull up on the scene. Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. till 7 p.m. Tuesday, $5 off for seniors. And if you're a college student with ID, you get the same. Look at there. Clean. Come on by and let Bubba Love lay hands on your ride. My.
Get everybody go outside. Here we go, everybody line up.
Everybody outside. City Friday night, oh, going down again. Oh, you girl, yeah, in rain. City Friday night, this Friday night, it's going down again.
Get your event jumping with Caroline Shines and Impulse Band. Impulse Band has been together for over 7 years, and they haven't missed a beat yet. The band has and will play in various venues and doesn't mind traveling to you. Being led by Alabama Blues Hall of Famer herself, Mrs. Caroline Shine. Impulse has opened up for Bobby Rush, L.J. Eccles, Tank, Fantasia, Calvin Richardson, just to name a few. The Impulse Band will surely fit your need for entertainment. Dial 205-887-6859 or 205-887-5026. Or you can just email them at shinesbrightly@yahoo.com. Caroline Shines and Impulse, the band made just for you.
For over 27 years here in Tuscaloosa, Catfish Heaven has been pleasing our taste buds with their delicious catfish, pan trout, hot wings, coleslaw, hush puppies, and don't forget about those made-to-order French fries. Whether it's your snack time, lunchtime, or dinner time, give the guys a call over at Catfish Heaven at 205-752-7222, or you can make your order online at catfishheaventuscaloosa.com. So head on over to Catfish Heaven at 2502 21st Street. See you there.
Fly, fly, fly. Gucci, huh? I drink till I'm drunk.
Fellas, head on down to New Generation Barber Shop, right off of 2600 McFarland Boulevard East, Suite C. Go ahead and get you a fly cut from my boy Fred Brown. You can hit him up at 205-292-4995. Also Sam Brown at 205-722-8506. And how can I forget about my boy Amp the Barber? Hit him up at 205-561-7473. Check him out, y'all.
Pick, I might as well hell. Drop the top and take a selfie, Marco.
You shopping at a goddamn.
Hello?
Hey Rick, I had to call you to tell you that the food that you brought to the party last night was wonderful. It made me think about my grandmother's cooking. Where did you get that food, brother?
I went down to Thomas Rib Shack to pick up the ribs, but when I got there,
I seen that they had more than just ribs. I seen baked chicken, fried chicken, corn muffins, vegetables, apple pie, peach pie. And I looked around and I seen a sign that told me that they got chitlins and oxtails on Sunday. All I can tell you, go down to 2931 15th Street or just give them a call like I did at area code 205-759-5010. Thomas Red Shack, Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
We're back. Just want to make sure everyone understands this coming May 28th, Saturday, May 28th, there will be a Flashback Fun Fest after party right here at McKinstry Banquet Hall, 5480 Jug Factory Road here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So you can come on out after you go see Cameo, Lakeside, all the old school bands. Come on out to McKinstry Banquet Hall right after. We got DJ Tank Sinatra. We'll have the old school R&B classics along with the new schools. So come on out to McKinstry for the Memorial Day Flashback Fun Funk Fest after party right here at McKinstry Banquet Hall, 5480 Jug Factory Road here in Tuscaloosa.
Get out, get everybody go outside. Here we go, everybody line up.
Everybody outside. City Friday night, oh, going down again. Oh, you girl, yeah, in hell rain. City Friday night, this Friday night, it's going down again.
We're back. We're back on the program now. We're talking about Roe versus Wade or anything else you'd like to join in and call and talk about. We're here on the studio, 310-6067 or 826-7661. That'll get you in contact with us here on the program with us. If you would, please join us. We're talking about Roe versus Wade or anything you'd like to talk about right now on the program. Right now on the phone with us is Veronica and Mike. Mike, tell us what's going on, man. I hear y'all talking in the background. Y'all got a strong conversation going on.
We trying to we're still on the Roe versus Wade verdict. The fact that we got men trying to tell women what to do with their bodies. And like I personally, I really truly don't understand it, especially when you got some mothers out there who know they self. They know that they're not capable of being a good mother to a child, and it appears that they don't care. They're not thinking about a mother that might be neglectful to a child, abusive to a child, any of this stuff. And next thing you know, you're gonna have somebody in prison, and then you're gonna have a child in the system that now the taxpayer's gonna have to pay for, because that's what generally winds up happening. There are thousands of kids right now that are in the system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's probably a bunch of parents that are in prisons for being neglectful to those same kids. So, but you're saying, hey, keep on putting them out there. That's just my opinion.
Well, I'm certain there's a lot of people feel the same way with you, Mike. I'm certain.
I just don't understand that when some laws are only important if the white American male feels like it's important. They can tell everybody else what to do. Nobody can tell them what to do. We still have a former president who hasn't been held accountable for crimes he's committed yet. We have documentation coming out every day that he knew about January 6th. Talked with people who planned January 6th. But they more worried and concerned about taking away people's rights. They're more concerned about who leaked the document about reversing Roe versus Wade than they are about people's rights. and how people feel about it. They don't care how you feel about it. They're more concerned with a document leak.
And the reason why they're concerned with that document leak is because in the past, it was once the people found out about it, they had to answer to things. But now they got so many people that spin so many different narratives. They don't really even care that the people find out that much about it.
Right, because they don't even answer to it. They're not being held accountable.
Exactly. It really truly just feel like it's a minor inconvenience. And they'll get when they writers go and write a different spin on it. And when you start trying to inform the people of everything, you wind up having a situation like what we had. Miraculously, we started getting shut down. So I don't know. Like I said, I said this to Veronica during the break. I never thought that I'd see the United States. I never thought I'd see the time when the United States started looking a whole lot like a lot of dictatorship type countries that we fought against. The one thing they keep saying is the land of the free, but everybody ain't free. It appears that you have to be the top 1% to be free around here.
Land of the free and home of the brave. It's definitely not the home of the brave. Because we honestly don't have enough people standing up and speaking out. We have enough people complaining, but we can't get these people to the polls. And as we see, when it comes to things like this, it's going to always be a tough fight, but good usually prevails with that. Mm-hmm. With our last election, good prevailed. Mm-hmm. People say, well, you vote, they're going to do what they want to do. Yeah, to a degree, to an extent, yeah, but there's some other things that are crucial. They're crucial to you getting out and voting.
We had Jess Curtis on Tuesday. He said something that made so much sense, and it's absolutely true. That every time we get a good president, he had to spend his first term cleaning up the stuff from the last president.
Oh, Curtis Travis.
Curtis Travis. I'm sorry. Curtis Travis. And that's absolutely true. Now, when we turned out in full force, when Barack Obama was running for president, it was a beautiful thing. Oh my goodness. And that was the wake up call for all those, and I gotta say, redneck white people that decided, okay, it's getting out of hand over here, y'all. We got to do something. And they created the Tea Party. When Barack Obama had ran his second term and won, they went on ahead and decided then, oh, we're not getting nobody else in here. They already felt like it. Trump got in office, and what happened? He gave everybody who was in that Tea Party basically permission to come out and be racist. I'm you know what I'm saying? It's not how I'm reading into it. That's how it is. I was waiting any time for that joker to slip up and call somebody a coon, a monkey, or even as far as say the N-word.
And they were going to excuse it. That's just him. That's what he does. Well, if you just let all racists just be racist, then you're going to have another war. You're going to have another civil war. Because that's just them. You don't do people right, and they know right from wrong, and they know they don't want to be treated the way we were treated. So
no. And I tell you what, if you really want them to give you some sort of gun control, every black person out there right now that has a bunch of weapons, go to gun ranges and begin to practice shooting and get really good at it. And then when they start seeing that it's more black people in them gun ranges than white people, and they got the same type of firepower that some of these white people got, you know what? We got too many guns on the street. See, right now they ain't concerned because they don't feel like if it was an actual gun battle, most of our people can't shoot. Most of our people just shoot towards somebody. They don't hit the target.
It ain't even so much that they don't have the weapons. They just around here turning guns to the side, looking crazy,
That's right.
and shooting everywhere. Everywhere but the right way. If it ain't no right way, we ain't supposed to have them shooting anyway.
When you start talking about a white person shooting, most times they sitting off in the tower somewhere picking folks off from a distance. So yeah, get to that point where we like that and see how fast they decide to restrict some things. Now we got to have gun control. But right now they don't want to have gun control because it's something that they feel like they in total control of.
Once again, if you like to join the program.
And then they see inner city violence. They look at that and they're like, oh, okay, that don't affect them.
Don't affect us. It don't affect them. It just it
yeah, they see the inner city violence, and so it doesn't affect them. So,
and that's a good way of putting it, Veronica. Inner city violence, as you put it. Now that you mention that, I want to go ahead and I guess announce that on May 21st, a Stop the Violence rally is going to take place, or should be taking place at Freeman Park on May 21st, 12 to 6. Hopefully we'll have Miss Deborah Mine on the program with us next week. After we have Curtis Travis on, who's running for House Representative District 72. And we got a few guests coming on and got a few things planned for the I guess you can say before the summer kicked in. So hey, Tina Sanders joined in with us. Want to say, Tina, hello to you. I think you're getting ready to drive to New York. She's got a good little drive on her way, or fly to New York, one of the two. Want to say hello to you and be safe.
Please.
But once again, if you'd like to join the conversation, you can go ahead and call us in 310-6067 or 205-826-7661.
If Lala is still on, maybe she can call and tell us about the NAACP event for Juneteenth.
Yes, that's coming up.
I was just about to ask about that. That's something else. You know what I'm saying? They a month, or not even a whole month apart. That's two things that's out for our community and for our people. That is I think that it's going to be beneficial. And you can let our community know that we still care and that we want everything to get better in our communities.
Yeah,
we all in together.
That'd be a good thing for Lala to call and give us the NAACP report. That's what we're going to start calling that little segment, the NAACP report. If you will, just call in and give us the NAACP report. Let us know what's coming for Juneteenth. And also, there was, I know she's been on the investigation about the gentleman that's in the community, the sex offender that's in the community over in Fairview subdivision, and maybe she can give us an update on that also. I know she was on the P's and Q's of checking into it and talking with people and getting more factual information about the situation. So maybe she can call and give us the NAACP report. That's what we're going to call the next segment. But if you'd like to join in this conversation, 205-826-7661 or 310-6067 to get you in contact with us. Either one of us on either one of the lines here on our community conversations. So those of you that would prefer to join, you still can join our community conversations right here, very own little private group. And since we been our only private group, we really hadn't had any problems or issues with the live. I put it that way. Everything's been going great. We had a little outage on Tuesday, but I think we're fine now. Putting the disclaimer up more, throughout the show and everything. So, once again, if you'd like to be invited or be a part, all you have to do is just join the conversation. We was talking about teachers on Tuesday also, and I wanted to get into the segment about why there are less men in the profession.
I'm sorry, Daryl. We got Lisa Young on the line.
Okay, Lisa, go ahead and give us the NAACP report, as I'm gonna call it.
Hey, I just want to remind everybody of the Juneteenth celebration. On Friday, we're having, that's Friday, June 17th, we're having a youth and senior forum. Right now it looks like that's going to be at the C.A. Fred campus, Shelby State Community College. And then that Saturday, we plan to have a parade and cookout. The cookout will be at Palmore Park. We got Senator Bobby Singleton and State Representative A.J. McCampbell, who's going to be cooking for us.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. From there, Sunday is actually Father's Day. June 19th is actually Father's Day.
Mm-hmm.
So, the banquet that we're going to have Sunday, we're looking at changing it to a luncheon on Monday, since most people in the state will celebrate Juneteenth on that Monday.
So you got a whole weekend of festivities going on.
Festivities, yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
We want everybody to come out. And just make it like a community event. So hopefully this is something that we can grow. I would love to see it as large as City Fest that we used to have downtown.
Right.
And that was a weekend event.
Right, Friday and Saturday night sure was.
Friday, Saturday. If we can get like everybody to come out, I think we're gonna have a real nice time. And just commemorate Juneteenth. And I've had people say, well, what's the big emphasis in Juneteenth? So we all know that was the day that everybody realized that we were free.
Black people.
Because there was people in Texas that still thought that
we were under slavery.
They were slaves even after the emancipation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I remind them that I think that the tipping point was George Floyd, the killing of George Floyd. And that's when people say enough, we've got to change our culture. We got to change the way we're being viewed. And so we want to celebrate Black culture and heritage.
It sounds like a great weekend that's coming up. If you got flyers for those, please inbox me with those flyers.
Those will be coming next week, and they're going to be everywhere.
Gotcha. Appreciate you.
Looking forward to it.
What's the investigation like on the sex offender in the Fairview subdivision?
So, we met with some of the residents in that area, and there was a hearing where new evidence was presented. in Judge Roberts' courtroom, Judge Roberts said that he's going to take it under advisement, and we're waiting to hear what he chooses to do. We're thinking that we want to have some type of community gathering and we invite people from the district attorney's office to come and explain to the residents in that area why this sex offender was permitted to live in that area within the illegal proximity of a school. So what we're doing is awaiting Judge Roberts' decision.
Okay.
Has he given an indication when he's planning on giving his decision?
Not yet. But I will say this. The residents in that area, we have a large concentration of seniors in that area. They are fearful. One of them was even told, one of them reported that she was told that he was going to moon her. And we know what mooning is, right?
Exactly.
What?
Mm-hmm.
So, and you know, me saying I'm going to moon somebody is one thing, but if I'm a registered sex offender, I know better.
That's what you own it for, pretty much. Almost the same thing.
What?
Indecent exposure.
It's indecent for exposure, exactly. He told her he was going to moon her. So hold on, did he tell her this as a result of people questioning his the legality of him living in the neighborhood?
No, it was a response to the idea of her sitting on her porch, looking in that direction of where he lives. And
okay, well, she's probably been living there for years, probably since we walked the streets over there.
Probably did, and certainly did. And this is coming from a.
That's harassment. Is he's a registered sex offender, and like Lisa said, it's one thing to say you're gonna moon somebody, but for a registered sex offender to say it, now you no longer feel safe enough at your own home that you can't look across the street in a certain direction. See how you just let this person just come in here and just create chaos and wreak havoc? And then it seems like retaliation because you know he's thinking she's looking, you know he's hearing the talk in town. She's probably wondering whether he thinks she's involved with with what's going on or not. He's thinking, well, I'll just harass him. Mm-hmm. What kind of mess is that? And you know, I know everybody says, oh, she always brings race into it. But this wouldn't happen on the other side of the river.
Certainly not. And at the very least, on the other side of the river, they city council person would have made some sort of statement or comment pertaining to it and been active toward it. Do we know whether or not that particular city council person has been active in this case?
Well, there was a meeting. There was another meeting at the McDonald Hughes Center concerning the YMCA. And there were some members of the community that had tried to get in touch with this person to no avail. Had not responded. I was sitting there talking to several women, and they had said she had not returned their phone call. Well, guess who walked into that meeting? She did, about the McDonald Hughes Center. And ended up having to answer some questions. And what she told them was she couldn't make it to the hearing because she had to work. Now, this is not volunteer work. City council people get paid. So I don't know what kind of excuse that is when your residents need you. And you know, she didn't have to appear in person. She could have simply emailed. to the judge.
Right.
These people, and again, you know, it seems to always go back to the lack of representation for the people in the Western cluster. But I will say this: people need to be paying attention to what's going on now, because from election time, it seems like opinions and attitudes change.
Oh, absolutely.
But what we got to do is remember what they said and what they did when it was not an election year.
Mm-hmm. And Alabama is an at-will state. You can quit your job or you can be fired at will. So if she don't want her job, she can quit at will.
Yeah. If her job is interfering with her position on the council, she really do need to reconsider whether she needs to be on the council.
And that's the job I'm talking about.
So, but the good thing is, we know that a large percentage of our people that do get out and vote in our community are the elderly people. They'll remember.
And we did have someone call in a couple of weeks ago who specifically said that she won't be there during the next election. And I mean, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. We just don't want folks to just remember, because once again, during the next election, it's supposed to be the time when that new Barnes branch YMCA is going to be, the ribbon going to be being cut. And they're going to try to divert your attention directly to that, and only that. Forget everything else that can happen. But look at what we did right here, right now. And hopefully that'll get them over the hump to another term.
Well, at that meeting, there was a lady that went to the council and asked to buy the property of the current location. She asked some questions, and about there being a third. Why not just read that YMCA there? There's so much need in the black community. You could almost have location with duplication of services, right? Well, it wasn't recorded. I didn't think to record it, but somebody slipped up and said what they were told was, in most municipalities, when you have a municipality the size of Tuscaloosa, there's only they can't justify having two YMCA. But in the same breath turned and said something about Northport. So I'm gonna be watching to see if they try to open a branch over in Northport.
Well, if they do open one in Northport, how they'll probably get away with that is because Northport is its own municipality. So that'll be the way
it is, but the way they spoke of it, it was the parent representatives there. To me, it seemed as if they meant conducive to the size of Tuscaloosa County. So even though they're their own municipality, so they're still within Tuscaloosa County. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought when he was saying the population, it wasn't conducive to 2, so certainly not 3. I thought he meant the Tuscaloosa County, if I'm not mistaken.
That was my understanding too, that he was referring to Tuscaloosa County. So I felt like he slipped and said that. We weren't supposed to know that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're good about trying to fast talk. And truthfully, I don't think that a lot of people that go to the any side on the west side or any predominantly black neighborhood feel as though people of color are educated people, and so they can just kind of tell you anything, and you gonna eat it up, and you gonna take it as it is, and not do your due diligence on it. So um, it might have been a slip up, or they just might have thought that that anybody gonna catch it, and these two ladies were there to catch it.
Well, I thought it was very interesting that he slid it in because what I'm noticing is the more meetings you attend, the more they say that they presented something at a previous meeting. So I don't know if it was a slip up, if he grazed over it so he could refer back to that meeting in future meetings saying that he presented that information in that meeting.
Mm-hmm. And then notice, I don't think we had an agenda for the meeting. I don't like that. Get an agenda. Y'all work at the county. Jared Belt, the guy with the Parks Recreation was there. Somebody in the office could have typed up an agenda. He's the CEO of the YCA. They just come in with these PowerPoints that we can barely see on the wall. No agenda to hand out. So if you have an agenda, you're gonna most likely write down notes. I know most of us keep notes on our phone, but when I have an agenda before me, I'm better about jotting down notes on the agenda because it's sectioned off than I am even putting it in my phone.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of strange to me. So it's just another case of this just had this meeting. They didn't even have an agenda. They might have had one for themselves, but nothing to pass out to us that I remember.
And then
because when you do that, you have something in print.
Exactly, but then he started talking about their survey. I've never seen a 2-week survey, never.
I think it's all a done deal, y'all. It's a done deal. We'll never know the input of the survey of what exactly the majority of the people wanted for us that goes. I know a lot of people were saying mentorship might have been been something they seen or wanted to have mentorship programs. But who's gonna relay? In other words, did they put out the survey results?
We don't get
They made sure that you knew that it wasn't a done deal that you was gonna get the aquatic center. One of the selling points of it being where it's going.
45,000 square feet.
Attention in the meeting, nothing was absolute. It was we hope to have what we envisioned. There was never a concrete. What you would have would be a X amount square foot building. They hope to get those services. Even the services is we hope to have these services here. So absolutely nothing that he said was concrete. It was all what they hoped to do. And I asked them about land acquisition because the scale that he showed us did not, all the land is not owned by the city. So I pulled up a map in an app that I have that will tell you who owns plots of land. He never, Veronica, correct me if I'm wrong, he never answered my question when I asked about acquiring additional land, right?
Nope, never did.
Yeah. So if you gotta acquire additional land over there, you could have did it at the old site.
And that's something probably not going to happen with them building new houses on Ash Street. Who gonna sell? Who gonna tear down a new house?
Well, that Lisa, was it true that somebody touched on that too, just about the whole aspect of new houses being there and all the traffic. Anyway, and what did she say? Oh, we do. The city has people that do. It's basically she's like that's not on them. To me, that's what I took from it. Because the city has the city engineers who determine, I guess, what's too much and how things will be. As far as the traffic, the heaviness of traffic. It just was another situation where we got no answers.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't on them. But look like y'all should have been talking to them between then. Right. You the city council person.
If you pay attention in the council meeting, what you'll hear is every time somebody want to bring something to another area in Tuscaloosa, they ask that a traffic study and a noise study be done to see how it's going to impact the residents. They have yet to do that in that area.
So they pushed it through.
Oh, it get done.
Well,
that's a done deal.
It was my understanding that before they can break ground, that those studies have to be done.
Right.
Well, okay, so suppose they do the studies and the studies don't find the way they want them to find. They already already went and got the money from New York. So does that mean that they put that money toward the main branch?
Lisa, Mike, and Daryl, have y'all ever known a time where they picked a group that the study didn't find, but certain person wanted to find?
Mm-hmm.
And if they did, they had to do another one?
Well, I'll just tell you now, it's gonna find what it need to find, because I'm paying you for this, so it's gonna happen the way I say. We don't care what the other people say, but that's what's gonna happen. So,
well, that's where you let's say like they discover that they can't. Well, with that money already allocated over there, the mayor get to reappropriate their money to other projects.
and that's what y'all see. Y'all over there messing it up right now. That's what y'all doing. Y'all stirring up the mess, messing it up. Just don't few folk right there.
Yeah, it's like playing chess. You anticipating the next move.
And make sure we
so why people say we be waiting and they'll reallocate money. That's what they're thinking of ways to reallocate money in the first place before the deadline.
Yeah, we still at Mike. I'm watching.
Yeah, we still on there. I just have to make sure. Because when we start talking too much truth, boy, we spreading false information.
Well, we can sit up and speculate. I might say it's gonna be raining in the morning. It look like rain in the morning.
Be going off like James Fan be doing. Look, I'm the weatherman. James Fan be going off.
What I figure is they had another phase to the McDonald Hughes Center. You ain't gonna tell me they can put $10.4, $9.4 million in a new building and ain't finished that one? Child, please.
With that being said, they got two more phases on the main branch of the YMCA. And you definitely not going to get a brand new Barnes branch YMCA before they finish the main branch.
I hope people paying attention.
Even though the Barnes branch bailed them good though. Even though the Barnes branch was a part of the bailout.
Well, I don't want us to get kicked out the asshole. We ain't even talk about why they had to be bailed out.
Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about it. We ain't gonna talk about it.
I know my buddy be in jail. That's all I gotta say.
We ain't gonna talk about it. We don't want you in jail.
You're knocking on my door for long too. I don't know about it.
Yeah. But it's Mother Day weekend. You know what is today is what you call it since what the Mexican holiday it is today? I
So
forgot.
today is Cinco de
Cinco
Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, today is Cinco de Mayo. Happy Mother's
Mayo.
Day again to all the mothers. May 8th is Mother's Day. This is Teacher Appreciation Week. Tomorrow is Nurses Day. May 6th through May 12th starts Nurses Appreciation Week. So there are a lot of things, to be recognized this week in these next few days. And for the first time, the South will get the HBCU Spring Coming in Birmingham, May 27th through 29th. Out of the 7 years, it's always been celebrated somewhere else, but it'll be in Birmingham. So the first time in the South is not going to be Atlanta, it's not going to be Tennessee, it'll be in Birmingham.
And this is
And Michael, look, and Lionel Richie is doing the performing in the closing ceremony of the games.
Lionel Richie and Ruben Studdard. Actually, that's what I understand.
Okay.
Yeah, I just absolutely love Lionel Richie. Oh my God.
I was crazy about
So
it
he
too.
hasn't been here in like 3 decades.
Lionel Richie says Tuskegee will always be home. He said on the commercial, he said whenever somebody really talks to him about it, he said, I've been all over the world, but Tuskegee will be home.
This is also Mental Health Awareness Month. So on Tuesday we were talking a little bit more about mental health awareness. We haven't brought up about Tuscaloosa City. Well, Tuscaloosa County is supposed to be getting a new facility through Indian River as far as a mental health outreach or mental health treatment center that's supposed to be coming in the near future through Indian River. So we want to think about that.
Indian River need to be sued.
Well, we just got to take what we can get. Because we definitely got to have something in place real soon. And now that them $7 million is given to them, we're gonna have to deal with it. I understand what you're saying.
At some point, I think that we need to try to put pressure on the city council, maybe the county commissioner about getting some sort of substance abuse program here within the city or in the county. I can't believe that we don't have one in the vicinity, especially considering how we got three major colleges here in Tuscaloosa.
I mean,
you got to know that there's substance abuse on those college campuses.
Yeah.
As well as in the neighborhood.
In this county, I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
It exists. It definitely exists in this county, without a doubt. But there's a lot to talk about. Like I said, Mental Health Awareness Month. We got the whole month of May through May 1st through the 31st. So May 24th is primary election day, May 24th. So we want to keep the people. There again, the people don't know. I'm telling y'all, you tell people when the next vote, they don't know. You gonna go vote for what? Our people are not aware of what goes on in this community. I mean, it's like you have to just constantly remind them. And the only thing they see or say, or if they know, about 33-40, all the advertisement for the liberal and Republicans of Kay Ivey, Linda Blanchard, and Fob James, Ted James, or whatever name James is. Those are the only names they know that's going to decide our governorship. And that's a whole nother topic too, but we ain't going to it. But just a reminder, May 24th, there is an election, primary election going to take place, and I guess we're going.
Whatever happened to all the governors, the Democratic governor candidates? Did you ever?
We trying to. We trying to work on getting that together. They campaigning real hard to get all four of them in the same spot or at the same time. It's kind of challenging, but we still working on it.
Good luck.
Okay.
Good luck.
It's definitely challenging right now. With it being how many weeks? But the 24th is what? Today is the
2 weeks.
Day
3 weeks.
the 5th, so in 3 weeks, 19 days,
If
we'll.
nothing else, we can put something on our Facebook page, linking everybody to their campaign pages, and just encourage everybody to go out there and read and go to their website and read what that platform is. And when I tell you, I've heard some of these people speak, we need to be very careful who we vote for. And we got to remember, all skin folk ain't kin folk.
All right.
So we want people to vote, but we want informed voters.
That's right.
Say it one more time.
We want you to vote, but we want informed voters. Don't go in there if you got to vote for. If some say vote for 4 people, don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, and find out what their platform is. Find out how they done work in your community. Are they good in your community? You got people on that ballot that haven't even attended any meeting when you ask them. I overheard a conversation, and this lady asked someone that was running, so do you volunteer with the Democratic, the Democrats in Tuscaloosa? Well, I've been busy. So I'm sitting there thinking, my mom always said, if you ain't got that nice to say, shut up. But I'm thinking, if you still have your main job, you still got your second job, and you still got your kids, and those are the reasons that you're citing that you have not been active in your community, why would you run for office? I mean, like, is something gonna change? Are you gonna switch up? Are you gonna leave your second job? And see, y'all gotta think, some of these people are very strategic. They're running now because they see something in the future, right? They hear inklings of people retiring, coming out of positions and stuff like that. So now they want to get their name out there. But they haven't done any work. You don't hear anything from them. We meet, Veronica, how often do we meet? Once a month.
Once a month.
For what, 2 hours once a month?
If that.
If you can't, and we do other things in the community as an organization, but if you can't spare 2 hours out the month on a Saturday, I'm sorry. You don't need to be. I wouldn't vote for you. You couldn't get my vote. You don't plan on representing. You plan on getting a seat and holding it. That's all you plan on doing. We see the same people in every organization.
Getting a seat and getting a check.
I'll just read some.
And it's sad. The same people I see at the ADC meeting are the same people that I see at the Tuscaloosa County Executive Committee, Democrat Executive Committee meeting, are the same people I see at events that's hosted all over Tuscaloosa. You know, or if there's something in I would see the same people. Like somebody would ask me, were you with Curtis all day? I said, okay, so I was with Curtis in Montgomery. Then I came to Tuscaloosa and went to another event, and Curtis was there. Oh, yeah, people run just like that. Like when you got somebody that dedicate their time, you know, then those are the people that you want to be elected. When you know that a person's voice is not for sale, them are the people that you want to be elected to represent you. Mm-hmm. Somebody running to events because they know other politicians gonna be there, so they can throw some pictures up on Facebook. What are you doing? Why would you do that to your people? Why would you do that to your community? You know you're not gonna represent them. Right. Right. Photo ops. That's why I'm not. That's why when we go to stuff like that, I don't even be caring about taking no picture. I'm not concerned about the picture. I'm concerned with the business at hand. Pictures always just for show and tell. Me to show that you were there, to tell that you was there. But what story does your picture tell? You know, the first mayor of Birmingham, Mr. Arrington, Richard Arrington Jr. was there. And he talked about how young people not talk about they woke, but he talked about a time when our community was truly woke. And they were out and they were doing things, and you know how the level of respect, you know, they would now make a move on something that was going to impact the black community without consulting with the black community. Now we at odds fighting amongst ourselves. They sliding stuff right in. Like, I wonder if anybody ever thought that leaked brief was a diversion for something else. Okay. They gonna put our attention on this while they doing something else, and we ain't even paying attention. So you need somebody that keep their ear to the ground and they feet ready to move. That's who you need. And I know other people don't rush to different events, but Veronica tell you see the same people doing the work at every event. You see the exact same people. And it gets to be, at least it's discouraging because a lot of times we hear people say, well, they ain't gonna do that, they ain't gonna do that. I don't care what nobody says. Numbers moves things. Numbers moves things. And if you seeing the same old people, that means the number is limited. Numbers moves things. Numbers moves things. Somebody did a Facebook post talking about what an organization ain't do, what do they do in the community. And this is my sign. If you don't know what that organization do in the community, that means you ain't doing nothing in the community. Right. And don't try to put somebody on blast or on Front Street because when you do that, then I'm going to ask you, have you ever been a member of that organization? So exactly, how do you know exactly what that organization does? Because everything that's done don't have to be seen. And when we out here canvassing and encouraging people to vote and registering people to vote, we ain't just walking around in a nice neighborhood. We get vans and we go out. We go out in the rural area, you know, and we get out the van. We have to walk with sticks to beat back dogs and stuff. That's what we out there doing. So no, you might not see this because we ain't doing it in the inner city. We out in the county. We're not gonna be at Snow Hill Park all the time so everybody can pass over down that park and see you. But you know, I have walked until I couldn't walk no more. You know, and just a lot of times you end up educating people, right? You might stumble on some people. I'm not registered to vote. You need to sit there and have a conversation. You need to take the time to have a conversation to explain to them why it's so important to vote. So there's that educational component of it as well. But when I hear somebody say what somebody ain't doing, I'm quick to ask them, what did you do?
Mm-mm.
What are you doing?
Exactly. And if you're not a member or a part of this organization or that organization, how do you know what they're doing? And don't tell me about hearsay, because hearsay has narratives. Hearsay put out narratives depending on their agenda. Hearsay puts out narratives depending on who made them mad. They don't like somebody or
Exactly.
they didn't this
You
person
don't like
over and that
somebody in
person
the
over. All this
organization.
kind of mess.
Exactly. You don't like somebody in the organization, so damn the whole organization.
Exactly.
But here's the thing, we be looking for people to take leadership roles. You can't never find it. What you've been doing, you do it. You continue to do it. So it gets to the point where, it's your baby, right? You're not gonna let just anybody keep your baby. It needs to be somebody that you trust with your baby.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you groom people, right? You groom people for positions. You allow them to shadow you. But if they ain't shadowing you, if they don't understand, they don't even know the mission of the organization. I heard somebody say the NAACP, well, somebody came back and said it. Somebody said the NAACP don't even provide you with lawyers. You can't provide everybody in Tuscaloosa with a lawyer?
And if they looked into the mission of the NAACP, if they knew about the principles of it, if they knew about the organization, if they joined, then they would know that they don't provide everybody with a lawyer, and they would know why, and they would understand why. But they would understand and know also what they do. Just like they say they can't provide you with a lawyer, can they tell you what they do? You tell me what they can't do. An organization that you're not a member of, somebody told you this. Did that person tell you what they do?
No, they it was because they just wanted to be discouraging.
Right.
The things that in an organization do, we need to start supporting each other. I met with a group of people that are hosting an event on Sunday, actual Father's Day. One thing that I love, the young lady said, well, tell us what else y'all doing so we can come support y'all. Okay, that's what you need.
Mm-hmm.
And like I explained to them, every organization, when you look at movements that big movements that changed, that had impact on communities. If you go back in history and look, those movements were done by young people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you might have had the older people in the background advisor, but those were young people out there. John Lewis was real young when he walked over Patton's Bridge and was beat. They were young back then. So, we need to start looking at some of these organizations, start pulling in young people and grooming them. So that there's a sense of continuity and you don't have to start all over and a person there's not that learning curve there. They've already been groomed. I understand that you ain't gonna tell young people to go canvas. They're not gonna see that. They think, oh, I'm gonna put it on my social media page.
Or Instagram.
Tweet.
Tweet.
I can reach more people that way. And it's true. You can. But what we know, those people don't them people ain't on no social media.
Mm-hmm.
But they register voters.
Yep.
Well, next week we want to talk about all this and more. Once again, we'll have Curtis Travis and yourself on here telling about the upcoming election on May 24th and the importance of voting. We'll talk about mental health awareness month. We'll talk about a whole lot more things on next week. And we just want to thank everybody for chiming in tonight. Once again, we're live each and every Tuesday and Thursday, myself and Mike. And people are still watching. I see people are watching now on YouTube, and people are watching after, as always. Some people watch after we've done the show and watch it again. So we just want to thank everybody for chiming in each and every Tuesday and Thursday on our community conversations, because these conversations affect us here locally, as well as it does nationally or statewide. So we'll end the conversation tonight.
Daryl, one more thing. I just want to say this
Go ahead.
because I see so many people, and some of these people are people that people listen to, especially young people. Stop. It's true, but stop putting so much emphasis on what they do on the state or the federal level doesn't affect what they do locally. All of it is important. Your local elections are important. Yes, they are very important. But there's a chain of command for a reason. At work, there's a chain of command. In life, in government, there is a chain of command. It does matter. Look at the Republicans that we have on the Supreme Court now. And any young woman, like they all say, it affects young men too. But I think young women are paying more attention than the young men. Because see, some of these same ones that's about to turn this thing, they grooming their boys to think the same way. Stop telling people that you're local. It's just your local anyway. You know, that sounds cute and woke, but all of it is important. Your local is just closest to you, of course. And there are things on the local level that you definitely should be involved in. It's easier to be, instead, tell people to vote and to pay attention. But if it's easier for you to be involved locally, please do so. But stop telling people, that stuff don't matter no way. But it matters in your, well, right now you got women all across the United States that are afraid that they've lost a right to make a decision about their body. And it has nothing to do with their local government. It has to do with the judges that were appointed to the Supreme Court. Like we always say, if you're going to talk about the local, you got to talk about each level. Judges appointed on the local level, state level, federal level. And right now we're seeing what happens on the federal level.
They either voted in or they're appointed by somebody that's voted.
Exactly. So the vote matters locally, statewide, and nationwide. I hear so many people just, for some reason, for the past few years, just gotten a little cute saying. Well, when Trump went into office, I heard some of these local people, some of them are so-called activists, give the man a chance. He this, he that. By the time Trump left up out of there, they were just fussing just as much as everybody else. Because it was that premise that, that it ain't gonna matter no way. What they do around here is what y'all need to be worried about. Everything has a trickle-down effect.
That's it, right?
It can trickle up as well as we see, because when we realized the states started doing it first, now what's happened? The states started being sued. And what did they do? Well, they took it on to the Supreme Court. Now the Supreme Court is doing exactly what we thought would happen with a mostly conservative Supreme Court. So it affects you. Like, stop telling young people it doesn't affect them. What you can do is encourage them to work more or harder on the local level, because that's what they have more control of. That's what they can be more involved in. But don't tell them that it doesn't matter. Do you want them to just grow up or grow older into adulthood thinking, well, as long as my mayor is okay, we just got to get the mayor out. You got to think about every aspect. You got to think about every level of government.
You're right, Veronica. Well, we'll talk about it on Tuesday. Once again, happy Mother's Day to you ladies. Have a great, wonderful weekend. And looking forward to seeing y'all on Tuesday.
Thank y'all. And happy Mother's Day to y'all. Happy Mother's Day, Lisa, everybody.
Thank you. And my kids listening. If y'all want to give me something for Mother's Day, leave me alone.
You don't want to leave you alone. Come on now.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Look, don't forget, tell them to leave the greenery.
Now,
If you tell them that, they might not be no greenery. Well, you said you want to be nothing about it.
No. Let me rest.
all right, y'all have a great weekend. We'll talk on next week.
Go get y'all a margarita for Cinco de Mayo. So
I'm gonna go to bed. I gotta go to work tomorrow.
All right, so.
All right.
All right.
Have a great one.
Get out, get out, get everybody go outside. Here we go, everybody line up.
Everybody outside. City Friday night. Oh, going down again. Oh, you girl. Yeah, until the rain. City Friday night. This Friday night. It's going down again. But one thing that you gotta remember is one monkey don't stop, no shoulders. Train gon' keep on rolling.